Henwu woke up in darkness. His head hurt badly. The last thing he remembered was being arrested on Space Station Beta 9 for carrying illegal medicine to his sick sister. The police said he would go to a normal prison for 6 months. This was not normal. The cell was huge. The walls were thick metal, covered in deep scratches, claw marks. The ceiling was 20 feet high. Everything was built for something much bigger than humans. Much more dangerous, a low growl came from the corner. Henwu's blood turned cold. 2 yellow eyes opened in the darkness. They were the size of dinner plates. What you? The voice was deep and rough, like rocks grinding together. Henwu pressed against the wall. In the dim light he could see the creature. It was 12 feet tall, covered in black shell-like skin. Its arms were as thick as tree trunks. Razor-sharp claws extended from its fingers. This was a Vorthok. A Reaper. Everyone in the galaxy knew about Reapers. They were nightmare stories parents told children. Apex predators who hunted entire planets clean. The Federation had fought wars against them for centuries. "I'm human," Henwu whispered. The Reaper moved closer. Its footsteps shook the floor. "Human? I have never seen one." "You look like food? There's been a mistake. I shouldn't be here." The creature laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "Everyone says that, little thing. I am Thekmor. I have been in this cage for 200 years. There are no mistakes here. Only death that comes slowly." Outside the cell, heavy footsteps approached. The door opened with a loud bang. 3 guards entered. They wore full armor and carried energy weapons. But they were not human guards. They were tall, gray-skinned aliens with 4 arms. "Feeding time," one guard announced. He threw a chunk of raw meat onto the floor. It looked fresh. It smelled like blood. Thekmor moved toward the meat. His claws scraped the floor. "This is how it works, human. I eat first. You eat what I leave. If I leave anything," the guards watched carefully. One pointed his weapon at Henwu. "New prisoner adapts quickly or dies quickly. These are the rules." The guard's name tag read, Commander Velshan. He seemed surprised to see Henwu. Records say new Reaper prisoner. "But you are very small, very weak-looking." "I'm not a Reaper." Henwu said, "Check your files again." Velshan looked at his tablet. His eyes grew wide. "Impossible. Computer says Reaper. Dangerous level, maximum, species, Vorthok." He looked at Henwu again. "But you are clearly not Vorthok." "Computer errors happen," another guard said. "What do we do?" "We follow protocol," Velshan decided. "Prisoner stays until administrator decides. Paperwork can wait." The guards left. The door slammed shut. Thekmor had finished half the meat. He pushed the rest toward Henwu with one claw. "Eat, little human. You will need strength for what comes next." Henwu looked at the raw, bloody meat. His stomach turned, but he was hungry. He had not eaten in 2 days. Carefully, he tore off a small piece. It tasted terrible, but it was food. "You are strange," Thekmor said. "Most new prisoners cry. They beg. They break quickly, but you just adapt." "What choice do I have?" "Good answer." The old Reaper settled against the wall. "Tell me about humans." "I have heard stories, but never met one." Henwu sat down across from him. "Keeping distance, but not hiding. We're not very strong, not very fast. We don't have claws or armor like you." "Then how do you survive?" Henwu thought for a moment. "We think, we adapt, we never give up." Thekmor's eyes gleamed with interest. "Never? My people survived ice ages. We survived plagues that killed most of our species. We survived wars that destroyed entire continents. When something tries to kill us, we find a way around it. Or through it, or we make it kill something else instead." "Interesting," Thekmor leaned forward. "In 200 years, I have seen many species in this prison. Most break in days. Some last weeks. You have been here for 1 hour, and you are already planning. Planning what? Survival. I can see it in your eyes. You are not afraid anymore. You are thinking, calculating, adapting." The Reaper's voice held something like respect. Perhaps the computer made no mistake after all. That night, Hyun-woo could not sleep. He listened to the sounds of the prison. Roars and screams echoed through the walls. Somewhere, metal was being torn apart. Someone was crying for help in a language he did not know. This place was designed to break spirits, to crush hope. The guards wanted prisoners to fight each other. Instead of fighting the system, it was smart. It was efficient. It was also something humans had seen before. Hyun-woo had studied history in school. He knew about concentration camps, about slave ships, about places where people were put to break them. But humans had survived those places. Some had even escaped them. The key was not to fight the system directly. The key was to change it from inside. Vekmer, he whispered in the darkness. Yes, little human. How many Reapers are in this prison? 47 in this block. Perhaps 200 in the whole station. Why? Just wondering. Hyun-woo smiled in the dark. Do you ever talk to the others? Sometimes. When the guards allow exercise time. But we do not work together. Reapers are not pack hunters. We are solitary. That might be your first mistake. Lekmar was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. What are you thinking, human? I'm thinking that maybe it's time for some changes around here. Outside their cell, a guard patrol passed by. The footsteps faded into distance. The prison settled into its nightly rhythm of fear and despair, but in cell block 7, something new was beginning. Something the galaxy had never seen before. A human was starting to think like a human. And that was the most dangerous thing of all. A siren wailed through the prison. Red lights flashed in the corridors. Over the speakers, Commander Velshan's voice echoed, "All prisoners report for morning inspection. New hierarchy will be established." Vekmor stood up slowly. His joints creaked like old metal. "This is where you learn your place, human, at the bottom." The cell door opened. Guards herded prisoners into a large central area. Hyun-woo had never seen so many Reapers in one place. They were massive, terrifying. Each one looked like it could tear apart a tank with its bare claws, but Hyun-woo noticed something else. They kept apart from each other. No eye contact, no communication. Even among their own species, they stayed isolated. "New prisoner!" A young Reaper stepped forward. He was smaller than Vekmer, but still huge compared to Hyun-woo. His shell was bright red instead of black. "I am Zektar. You will serve me, bring me food, clean my cell, fight my enemies." The other Reapers watched with interest. This was entertainment for them. Hyun-woo looked up at Zektar. The young Reaper towered over him like a mountain. His claws were sharp enough to cut steel. His teeth could bite through bone. "No," Hyun-woo said quietly. The word hit the crowd like lightning. Reapers turned to stare. Some laughed in disbelief. Others growled with excitement. Violence was coming. Zektar's eyes widened. "What did you say?" "I said no. I don't serve anyone." Zektar raised his claw. It came down fast enough to split Hyun-woo in half, but Hyun-woo was not there anymore. He had rolled to the side. The claw hit the metal floor and stuck deep. While Zektar tried to pull his claw free, Hyun-woo grabbed a piece of broken metal from the floor. It was sharp, it was small, but it was a weapon. "You want to fight?" Hyun-woo called out. "Then let's fight, but not your way." "My way?" He threw the metal shard. It hit Zektar in the eye. The young Reaper screamed and stumbled backward. Hyun-woo did not wait. He grabbed another piece of debris. Then another. He kept moving, always staying away from Zektar's claws. He used the bigger Reaper's size against him. Zektar was strong, but he was used to fighting other Reapers. Big, slow, direct fights. He did not know how to fight something small and fast and smart. After 10 minutes, Zektar was bleeding from dozens of small cuts. His left eye was swollen shut. He was breathing hard. Hyun-woo had not been touched. "Enough!" Commander Velshan entered the circle. His guards raised their weapons. "What is this?" "New prisoner refuses to accept his place," Zektar panted. "He must be punished." Velshan looked at Hyun-woo. The human was calm, his breathing was normal. He still held a sharp piece of metal in each hand. Interesting, Velshin said. Continue. The fight lasted another hour. By the end, Zektar could barely stand. 3 other young Reapers had joined the fight. All of them were injured. Hyanwu was still moving. How? Zekmor whispered to another old Reaper. How does something so small fight so well? He does not fight like us, the other Reaper replied. He fights like something else, something we have never seen. Finally, Velshin called a stop. Enough. New prisoner has proven his strength. He will not serve others. The guards led everyone back to their cells. But the whispers had already started. Word was spreading through the prison. The small human had done something impossible. He had defeated multiple Reapers without taking serious damage. Back in their cell, Zekmor stared at Hyanwu. I have lived for 800 years. I have never seen anything like that. Hyanwu was cleaning small cuts on his arms. That was nothing. On my world, humans fight much worse things than Reapers. Worse than us, impossible. We fight starvation, disease, natural disasters, wars that last for decades. We fight our own extinction. Hyanwu looked up. You Reapers are strong, but you fight one at a time. Humans fight everything at once. We have to. Zekmor was quiet for a long time. Tell me about human wars. So Hyanwu told him about World War II, when humans fought across entire continents. About the Korean War, where his grandfather had fought against impossible odds. About the colony wars, where humans had learned to fight in space. You fight your own species? Zekmor asked in shock. All the time, it makes us stronger. We learn from every battle, every mistake. Every defeat teaches us something new. Reapers do not fight each other. We are too proud. Maybe that's why you lose, Hyanwu said gently. That night, Zekmor lay awake thinking. For 200 years, he had accepted his fate in this prison. He was strong, he was feared, but he had never tried to escape. None of them had, but this small human had been here 2 days, and he was already changing things. Maybe change was possible after all. Dr. Yulrith had been studying dangerous species for 30 years. She thought she had seen everything. Then she met the human. Fascinating, she muttered, looking at her scanner readings. Bone density is only average. Muscle mass is weak compared. To Reapers, reaction time is good but not exceptional. So how did he defeat 4 opponents? She was watching security footage of the fight for the 10th time. Commander Velshin, she called over the intercom. I need to interview the human prisoner. Why? Because he should be dead. Instead, he's teaching the Reapers to think differently. In 3 days, I've recorded 47 conversations between Reapers who never spoke before. They're sharing information about guard patterns, about weak points in the prison structure. This has never happened. An hour later, Dr. Yulrith sat across from Hyanwu in the interview room. She was a tall, thin alien with blue skin and large black eyes. Her species, the Meltari, were known for their intelligence. I am Dr. Yulrith. I study behavior. Your behavior is very strange, Hyanwu smiled. Strange how? You should be terrified. This prison holds the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. Instead, you seem comfortable, I adapt quickly. Yes. But how? My scans show you're not physically superior. You're not mentally stronger than other species. So what makes you different? Hyanwu thought for a moment. Doctor, what do you know about human history? Very little. Your species is new to galactic civilization. We're new to space, but we're very old on our planet. For millions of years, we were not the strongest species on Earth. Lions were stronger. Bears were bigger. Sharks were better hunters. But we survived them all. Do you know why? Dr. Yulrith leaned forward. Tell me. We learned to work together. 1 human cannot kill a mammoth. But 10 humans with spears and fire can. 1 human cannot cross an ocean. But 100 humans can build a ship. Cooperation is not unique. Many species work together, not like us. Hyanwu's eyes grew serious. Other species cooperate with family. With their pack, with their hive, humans cooperate with strangers. With enemies. With anyone who can help us survive. Dr. Ulrich made notes on her tablet. Explain. In my cell there's an old Reaper named Vekmer. 3 days ago he wanted to eat me. Now we share information, we plan together, we protect each other. Why? Would he change his behavior? Because I showed him something new. I showed him that cooperation is stronger than domination. Dr. Ulrich looked at her readings again. The Reapers in your block are exhibiting unprecedented social behavior. They're forming alliances, sharing resources, planning group activities. That's what humans do. We see potential in others, then we help them reach it. But why? What do? You gain? Hyun-woo smiled sadly. Doctor, my people have a saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. When everyone around me is stronger, I'm safer. When everyone around me is smarter, I learn more. When everyone around me is successful, I have more opportunities. This is inefficient. In nature, resources are limited. Helping others means less for yourself. In the short term, yes, but humans think long term. If I help Vekmar become better at planning, he helps me understand Reaper culture. If I teach Zektar better fighting techniques, he teaches me about prison politics. Everyone wins? Dr. Ulrich put down her tablet. This is dangerous thinking. Why? Because if all species learn to cooperate like humans do, the power structure of the galaxy would change completely. That evening, Dr. Ulrich sent her report to Warden Kalthara. The conclusion was simple and terrifying. Humans were not just another species. They were catalysts. Wherever they went, they changed other species, made them more cooperative, more intelligent, more dangerous. Meanwhile, in Cell Block 7, Hyun-woo was holding his first official meeting. 8 Reapers sat in a circle. This had never happened before in the prison's history. Reapers did not form groups. They did not share information. They did not plan together, but tonight was different. The guards change shifts every 6 hours, Vekmar reported. During the change, there is a 3-minute gap in surveillance. The kitchen delivers food through the east corridor, added Grixenal, an older Reaper who had been quiet for decades. The delivery schedule is predictable. The exercise yard has 12 cameras, said another. But the northeast corner has a blind spot. Hyun-woo listened to each report. Then he spoke. Good information. But we're not planning an escape. We're planning something better. What could be better than freedom? Sektar asked. His injuries from their fight had healed, but his attitude had changed completely. Change, Hyun-woo said. We're going to change this prison, make it work for us instead of against us. Impossible, Grixenal shook his head. The guards are too strong. The system is too big. The guards are strong, Hyun-woo agreed. But they're not smart. They rely on us being afraid. On us fighting each other instead of fighting them. What happens if we stop being afraid? What happens if we start working together? The Reapers looked at each other. For the first time in their lives, they were thinking about cooperation. Instead of domination. It was a dangerous thought, but dangerous thoughts were exactly what humans did best. Warden Kalthara had run Detention Station Omega 7 for 15 years. She had never lost control of her prisoners. Until now, the reports on her desk were impossible to believe. Reapers working together, sharing food, helping injured prisoners heal, teaching each other new skills. It went against everything known about their species. And it was all because of one small human. Dr. Ulrich, she called over the intercom, report to my office immediately. The doctor arrived within minutes. She looked nervous. Doctor, your report says the human is changing Reaper behavior. How is this possible? Warden, humans are unlike any species we've studied. They don't just adapt to their environment. They change their environment to suit them. Explain. Dr. Ulrich activated a holographic display. It showed the prison's social network over the past week. Before the human arrived, each prisoner was isolated. Now, complex webs of communication connected dozens of Reapers. The human introduced concepts that Reapers never developed naturally. Shared leadership, group problem-solving, long-term planning. These ideas are spreading like a virus. Warden Kalthara studied the display. This is a security threat. Yes, but it's also an opportunity. What do you mean? Warden, what if we could study this process? Learn how humans change other species? The military applications would be enormous. Kalthara nodded slowly. Continue monitoring. But keep the human isolated. No more group meetings, but it was too late for isolation. The ideas had already spread. That night, Hyun-woo received an unexpected visitor. The cell door opened and a figure in a guard uniform entered. But this guard was different, smaller. The helmet came off, revealing a human face. My name is Yoon, the woman said quietly. I'm with Human Defense Corps Intelligence. Hyun-woo stared in shock. How did you find me? We track all humans in Federation space. When you disappeared from the transport to minimum security prison colony 12, we started investigating. Daeun looked around the cell. This is not where you were supposed to be. Computer error, Hyun-woo said bitterly. No, deliberate reassignment. Someone wanted you here. Someone wanted to study what would happen when a human was placed among Reapers, Thekmor stirred in the corner. Another human? How many of your species exist? Yoon looked at the massive Reaper with interest. Currently, about 12 billion. Why? Thekmor's eyes widened. 12 billion? And they are all like him, more or less. The old Reaper was quiet for a long moment. The galaxy is not prepared for 12 billion humans, Daeun smiled grimly. No, it's not. She turned back to Hyun-woo. I'm here to extract you. The ship is ready. We can leave tonight. What about the others? What others? Hyun-woo gestured toward the door. The Reapers. They're not just prisoners anymore. They're students. They're learning. If I leave now, the guards will punish them for cooperating with me. That's not our problem. It is my problem. Daeun sighed. Hyun-woo, you were arrested for smuggling medicine to your sister. You've served enough time. You can go home. My sister died while I was in here. The words hung in the air like a physical weight. Daeun's expression softened. I'm sorry, I didn't know. The medicine I was carrying would have saved her life. Instead, I'm in here playing politics with alien predators. Hyun-woo's voice was calm, but his eyes burned with anger. The system killed my sister. The same system that put me in the wrong prison. The same system that wants to study me like a lab rat. So what do you want to do? Hyun-woo looked at Thekmor. The old Reaper was listening carefully to every word. I want to break the system, not escape from it. Break it. Daeun activated her communicator. Control, this is Agent Kim, the target. Refuses extraction. Repeat, target refuses extraction. A voice crackled back. Agent Kim, you have your orders. Extract the target by any means necessary. Understood. Daeun looked at Hyun-woo sadly. I'm sorry, but I have to follow orders. She raised a small weapon. It was set to stun, not kill. But before she could fire, Thekmor moved. The old Reaper's claw gently pushed the weapon down. No, he said simply. Get out of my way, alien. I will not let you take him. Daeun stared up at the 12-foot-tall predator. Do you know what I am? I'm human. We're the same species as him. Species does not matter, Thekmor replied. He is Pac. You are a threat. I protect Pac. Daeun lowered her weapon. She was trained to fight many things. But she was not trained to fight a Reaper who had learned human concepts of loyalty. This changes everything, she whispered into her communicator. What changes everything? Came the reply. The Reapers. They're not just cooperating with our agent. They're adopting him, protecting him, treating him like family. There was a long silence from Control. Finally, Agent Kim returned to base immediately. Do not attempt extraction. This situation requires ... reassessment. After Daeun left, Hyun-woo sat in the darkness with Thekmor. Thank you, he said. You are Pac now, Thekmor replied. Pac protects Pac. You taught me this. What I taught you might get us all killed, perhaps, but it might also set us free. Outside their cell, alarms began to sound. Emergency lights flashed. Over the intercom, Warden Kalthara's voice echoed. Through the prison, all prisoners return to cells immediately. This facility is now under maximum security lockdown. Any prisoner found outside their cell will be terminated. The breaking point had arrived. The lockdown lasted 3 days. No exercise, no group meals, no communication between cells. The guards wanted to break the new bonds between prisoners, but they were too late. The ideas had already taken root. On the 4th day, something unprecedented happened. 47 Reapers began a hunger strike. All at the same time? Without any communication between them, Warden Kalthara was furious. How is this possible? They're in separate cells. The human taught them pattern recognition, Dr. Ulrich explained. They can predict each other's behavior now. They don't need to communicate directly. This is unacceptable. Bring me the human, now. Han Wu was dragged to the warden's office in chains, but he was not alone. Vekmar came with him. The old Reaper had volunteered to act as Hyeon Wu's cultural interpreter. This was another first. No prisoner had ever volunteered for anything. Sit down, Kalthara ordered. I prefer to stand, Hyeon Wu replied calmly. You will sit, or I will have guards force you to sit. Vekmar stepped forward. If you harm him, we will stop eating permanently, all of us. Your prison will become a monument to dead Reapers. Kalthara stared at the massive alien. Are you threatening me? I am explaining consequences, Vekmar replied. Humans taught me about cause and effect. Very useful concept. The warden turned back to Hyeon Wu. What do you want? Better treatment for all prisoners, regular exercise, access to educational materials. An end to the hierarchy system that forces weaker prisoners to serve stronger ones. Impossible. This is a maximum security facility, not a school. Then we continue the hunger strike until you change your mind, or until we die. Either outcome is acceptable. Kalthara activated her communicator. Bring me Admiral Taeho from the Human Defense Corps. Tell him we need to negotiate. 2 days later, Admiral Taeho arrived at the prison station. He was a stern man in his 50s with gray hair and cold eyes. He had fought in 3 interstellar wars, but nothing had prepared him for what he found at Omega 7. Warden Kalthara, he said as he toured the facility, your reports mentioned unusual prisoner behavior. But this is extraordinary. They were watching the exercise yard through security cameras. Reapers were teaching each other, sharing techniques, working together to solve problems. Some were even learning basic mathematics and engineering principles. How long has this been going on? 2 weeks. Ever since the human arrived. Show me the human. They found Hyeon Wu in the prison library. It was a small room with a few dozen books and computer terminals. Historically, no prisoners used it. Now it was full. Vekmar was helping 3 younger Reapers with basic reading. Grixlal was studying prison construction blueprints. Zektar was learning about Federation law. Han Wu! Admiral Taeho called out. Hyeon-Wu looked up from the book. He was reading, Admiral, I was wondering when you'd show up. You're under arrest for inciting riot and rebellion. I'm already in prison, and I haven't incited anything. I've just been having conversations. Vekmar stood up slowly. He was even bigger than Admiral Taeho remembered from intelligence briefings. Admiral, you are human, yes? Yes. Then you understand, he is Pac. We protect Pac. 7 more Reapers moved to stand behind Vekmar. They formed a protective circle around Hyeon-Wu. Admiral Taeho had commanded fleets in battle. He had faced enemy armies without flinching. But the sight of Galaxy's most feared predators protecting a human criminal made his blood run cold. This is what you've done, he said to Hyeon Wu. You've turned monsters into allies. They were never monsters, Hyeon Wu replied. They were misunderstood, isolated, angry, just like humans used to be. Used to be? Admiral, how many wars has humanity fought in the past century? Dozens. How many have we won? Most of them. How? Admiral Taeho thought for a moment. Superior strategy? Better cooperation between units. Ability to adapt quickly to changing conditions. Exactly. And now I've taught those same skills to Reapers. What do you think happens next? The Admiral understood immediately. A species with Reaper strength and human tactics would be unstoppable in battle. The balance of power in the galaxy would shift completely. "You've created a new military force," he whispered. "I've created a new possibility," Hien-Wu corrected. "These Reapers don't want to conquer anyone. They want to be free. They want to be respected. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves." Vecmar nodded. "Humans showed us that strength is not about domination. Strength is about lifting others up." That evening, Admiral Tejo sent an encrypted message to Earth Command. Situation: more complex than anticipated. Human subject has not been broken by imprisonment. Instead, he has fundamentally altered an entire species. Recommend immediate policy review regarding human-alien relations. This could change everything. In his cell that night, Hien-Wu reflected on how much had changed. 2 weeks ago, he was a simple cargo pilot trying to save his sister. Now he was accidentally creating a new form of interspecies cooperation. "Vecmar," he said quietly. "Yes? Do you regret learning to work with others?" The old Reaper was quiet for a long time. "For 200 years, I was the strongest prisoner in this cell. I was feared, respected, alone. And now I have friends, I have purpose, I have hope." Vecmar's voice was thoughtful. "I would rather be weak with others than strong by myself." That might be the most human thing anyone has ever said. Perhaps I am becoming a little human. And I'm becoming a little Reaper. They sat in comfortable silence, two unlikely friends who had found family in the most impossible place, outside. Their cell, the prison, was changing. Guards were learning new protocols. Administrators were rewriting rules. The galaxy was slowly realizing that everything they thought they knew about humans and Reapers was wrong. Change was coming. And it all started with one simple idea. Cooperation was stronger than domination. 3 months after the hunger strike, Detention Station Omega-7 looked like a different place. The exercise yard had been expanded into a training facility. The library had tripled in size. Prisoner cells had been modified to allow more communication. Most importantly, the violence had stopped. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Ulrich reported to the Galactic Prison Authority. Violent incidents down 97%. Prisoner cooperation up 800%. Educational participation is now 100%. But the changes went deeper than statistics. Hien-Wu stood in the main assembly hall, addressing 300 Reapers. 6 months ago, this would have been a massacre. Now it was a classroom. "Today we're going to discuss conflict resolution," he announced. "Who can tell me the difference between fighting and problem-solving?" Dozens of claws raised in the air. These apex predators were eager to learn about peaceful solutions to problems. Vecmar stepped forward. "Fighting creates winners and losers. Problem-solving creates solutions that help everyone." "Excellent. Zektar, can you give an example?" The young Reaper who had once tried to dominate Hien-Wu now served as his teaching assistant. Yesterday, Block C and Block D disagreed about exercise schedule. Instead of fighting, they negotiated. Now both blocks get equal time and they share equipment. Perfect. This is how societies advance, not through conquest but through cooperation. In the back of the hall, Admiral Tejo watched with amazement. He had returned to observe the Omega-7 experiment on behalf of Earth Command. What he saw challenged everything he believed about human nature and alien relations. After the class, Admiral Tejo approached Hien-Wu. "Walk with me." They strolled. Through the prison corridors. Everywhere they went, Reapers nodded respectfully to both humans. Some were teaching each other mathematics. Others were learning to read. A group in the corner was discussing philosophy. "How did you do this?" the Admiral asked. "I didn't do anything. I just treated them like people instead of monsters." "But they are monsters. They've destroyed entire civilizations." "So have humans," Hien-Wu replied quietly. "The difference is we learn to do better, so can they." They reached the observation deck. Through the transparent walls, they could see the Reaper home fleet in the distance. Massive warships that had once terrorized the galaxy now waited peacefully at the prison's border. "They came for their people," Admiral Tejo observed. "They came for their family." Hyun-woo corrected. Vekmar sent them a message. He told them about what we've learned here, about cooperation, about building something better than fear. And they listened? They listened because it came from one of their own. Someone they respected. Someone who had learned a new way to be strong. Admiral Tejo activated his communicator. Earth Command, this is Admiral Tejo. I'm recommending immediate policy changes regarding Reaper relations. The situation here represents an opportunity for lasting peace. The response was immediate. Admiral, your orders are to extract the human subject and return him to Earth for debriefing. Sir, I don't think that's wise. The subject has created something unprecedented here. Removing him could destabilize everything. Admiral, those are your orders. Hyun-woo put a hand on the Admiral's arm. It's okay. I've been expecting this. That evening, the entire prison gathered in the main hall. Word had spread that Hyun-woo was leaving. The mood was somber. Vekmar stood at the podium. Brothers and sisters, he began, using words he had learned from Hyun-woo. Our teacher is returning to his people, but what he taught us remains. Murmurs of agreement echoed through the crowd. We are no longer the same species that entered this prison, Vekmar continued. We have learned that strength comes from helping others, that wisdom comes from listening, that true power comes from building up instead of tearing down. Grixinal stepped forward. What happens to us when he leaves? We continue, Vekmar replied firmly. We teach others what we have learned. We show the galaxy that Reapers can change. That anyone can change. Zektar raised his claw. But what? If they don't believe us? What if they still see us as monsters? Hyun-woo stood up. Then you prove them wrong, not with violence, not with fear. With patience, with kindness, with the strength you found in each other. He looked around the room at faces that had become family. When I first arrived here, I was angry. I had lost everything I cared about. I wanted to fight the system that had hurt me. But fighting the system from the outside is hard. Changing it from the inside is harder, but more powerful. You've shown that even the worst situations can become opportunities for growth. Tears ran down his face. You saved me, all of you. You gave me a purpose when I had lost everything else. You became my family when I had no one left. Vekmar approached the podium, and you gave us something we never had. Hope. The old Reaper reached into a pouch on his belt. He pulled out a small object carved from bone. It was a human figure, standing with arms outstretched, surrounded by larger figures. I made this for you, Vekmar said. It shows what you taught us. One small person can lift up many large ones. Not through strength, but through spirit? Hyun-woo accepted the carving with trembling hands. I'll treasure this forever. Take it to your people, Vekmar said. Show them what we learned together. Tell them that Reapers can be friends, not just enemies. The next morning, Admiral Tejo's ship prepared to depart. But they weren't leaving alone. Admiral, Warden Kalthara announced over the communicator, we have a problem. 5 Reaper leaders are requesting permission to accompany the human back to Earth. What? Why? They want to serve as ambassadors? They want to teach other humans what they learned here. Admiral Tejo looked at Hyun-woo. Is this your doing? No, this is their choice. I told them they didn't have to come with me. Vekmar entered the shuttle bay, followed by Grixinal, Zektar, and 2 other Reapers. They carried simple bags containing their few possessions. We go where teacher goes, Vekmar announced. We have much to learn about humans. Much to teach about Reapers. The Federation will never allow armed Reapers on Earth, Admiral Tejo protested. We are not armed, Grixinal replied, opening his bag. Inside were books, writing materials, and carved wooden toys. We are teachers now. The journey back to Earth took 2 weeks. During that time, Admiral Tejo watched the Reapers with growing amazement. They spent their time learning human languages, studying human culture, and practicing human social customs. They were genuinely trying to become better beings. When they arrived at Earth, the reception was cautious. Military forces surrounded the landing pad. News crews gathered at a safe distance. The sight of 5 massive reapers walking peacefully beside humans was broadcast across the galaxy. "This is unprecedented," the news anchor reported. "For the first time in recorded history, Reaper warriors are visiting Earth as guests, not conquerors." At the debriefing, Earth Command officials peppered Hyun-woo with questions. "How did you survive among them?" "I treated them with respect." "How did you get them to cooperate?" "I showed them that cooperation was more powerful than domination." "How did you change an entire species?" "I didn't change them. I helped them discover what they already were inside." General Park, the head of Earth Defense, leaned forward. "Citizen Hyun-woo, what you've accomplished could revolutionize interspecies relations, but it could also be dangerous. What if other species try to use these techniques against humanity?" Hyun-woo smiled. "General, the techniques I used aren't weapons, they're tools for building bridges. If other species learn to cooperate like humans do, that makes the galaxy safer for everyone." "How can you be sure?" "Because cooperation isn't a zero-sum game. When everyone wins, everyone wins." 6 months later, the Omega-7 experiment had become a model for prisons throughout the galaxy. Violent crime among former inmates dropped to nearly zero, recidivism rates plummeted. But the real change was happening on a larger scale. Vecmore had become Earth's first Reaper ambassador. He traveled to universities, teaching students about Reaper culture and history. He helped establish the first human-Reaper research partnerships. Zektar opened a school for young Reapers, teaching them human concepts of cooperation and peaceful problem-solving. Grixinol became a philosopher, writing books about the intersection of strength and wisdom. And Hyun-woo? He returned to his simple life as a cargo pilot. But now his cargo was different. Instead of smuggling medicine, he carried teachers, diplomats, and students between worlds. He transported humans to Reaper worlds where they learned about honor and strength. He transported Reapers to human worlds where they learned about cooperation and innovation. He became a bridge between species, facilitating understanding instead of fear. One day, while loading cargo on a space station, Hyun-woo received a message from Dr. Yulreth. "Hyun-woo," the message read, "I wanted you to know that the changes you started at Omega-7 are spreading. 17 different species have requested cultural exchange programs based on your model. The Galactic Council is considering new policies for interspecies cooperation. You didn't just change one prison, you changed the galaxy." Hyun-woo smiled and tucked the message away. He had work to do.